Hi, it's Thursday. It's day 2 of Google for me, and here's your directions for Thursday, December 6th. You're going to open up your book to page 43, please. Page 43. On page 43, we're going to be taking a look at letters or special features. The first special feature that we're going to do is we're going to add a special, or attention line, excuse me. An attention line is used when the writer does not know the name of a person who is going to receive the letter. For example, if the writer wants a letter to go to the Director of Special Collections of the library, but doesn't have the specific name of that person, we would use the attention line of Attention Special Collections Director, or Attention Director of Special Collections. When an attention line is used in a letter addressed to a company, key it first as the first line of the letter and envelope address. The correct salutation when keying in a letter that uses an attention line is ladies and gentlemen. That's going to be key because you're going to need to use that on one of your letters today. So if you use an attention line where you don't have a specific name, you got to remember that your correct salutations is ladies and gentlemen. Not dear ladies and gentlemen, but just ladies and gentlemen. So on page 43 we have exercise 3A. And what we're doing in exercise 3A is we're going to be going through and keying one letter, and it's going to go to Gwen English, and she is the president of Wilmington, Delaware, and it's going to be talking about a convention. And what's going to happen is the letter that Gwen is going to receive is going to be exactly the same letter that Todd Woodward is going to receive, and sorry, just those two. Gwen and Todd are going to receive exactly the same letter. So what you should not do is type exactly the same letter twice, because that would be a little bit crazy. You will type up the letter to Gwen, and you want to make sure that everything is formatted exactly correctly. And then what you're going to do is you're going to make a copy of that letter, and then you're going to go through and just change the parts that need to be changed. Well, let's think about this. What should we change? Well, if I'm sending a letter to Katrina, okay, I'm going to send a letter to you, Katrina, and in that information is your letter address, your salutation, and in there are some specific things about your schedule. So I'm going to type that in there. Now I'm going to change, and now I'm going to send the same letter to Sam, but I need to change a couple of features. What do I need to change? I need to first change the address. Then I need to change the salutation. The third thing I need to change is going to be going through and changing the specifics, for example, from Katrina's schedule to Sam's schedule. But in the case of the letter, what we're going to change is going to be information about their capital, state nickname, and when they're admitted to the union. And you'll see some of that information on there. So we actually have 3 letters that we're going to be working on Thursday, and we're going to continue that on to Friday. So you don't get a new assignment on Friday. You're just going to pick up where you left off. But what you need to do is you're going to type in the first letter that is going to go to Gwen English, and she is from the state of Delaware, and you have 2 paragraphs that start on page 43, and the letter is going to continue on the top of page 44. You'll notice on the top of page 44 where it says Delaware, capital Dover, state nickname, and admitted to the union. That information is going to be keyed in, and you're going to double space before Delaware, and then you'll double space after the line that reads admitted to the union, and then key in those last 2 paragraphs. So you're actually going to have what's going to look like 5 different paragraph sections, except the part for Delaware. You'll hit enter at the end of each line, and then you will center it on the page horizontally, so you want to use your center button. And then you need to remember at the very end of it to apply an appropriate complimentary close. For example, the word sincerely, make sure you spell it correctly. You're going to quadruple space, and this letter is going to be coming from Marcia J. Johnson, comma, display coordinator. So you want to make sure that you get the title. You can either come comma afterwards, or you can put it down below in the next line. But you need to remember, after your sender's name, you need to go double space and type in your reference initials to indicate that you are the one that typed it. So when you're keying these letters, 2-inch top margin, then you're going to start with the date. Quadruple space after the date, and then it's going to be the inside address, the address of who is receiving the letter. Double space, salutation. Double space, body. After the body, complimentary close. quadruple space, again the second time that we quadruple space on a letter, and then you're going to do the sender's name, double space, and then it's going to be your reference initials. This first letter is not going to have an attention line. The second letter of this assignment is also not going to have an attention line, because basically it's the same body of the letter. We're changing who it is addressed to and the information about the state, because we're going to send it to Todd Woodward, but Todd is not from Delaware. Todd is from Pennsylvania, so you need to change that specific information, which would look like the third paragraph in the body, but everything else can stay the same. So remember, in Google Docs, you can have that other letter up and then make a copy of it, and then go through and make your changes. You will save each one of these letters as a separate file, and then you would go through and actually share each one of those with me as a Ken edit. The third document on here, you want to make sure that you take a look at this one, because that is going to be one that you are going to be using an attention line. And remember, with an attention line, we use that because we don't have a specific name of somebody that's going to be receiving it. For example, if you were applying to college and you don't know the person who's going to be reading the letter, you would say, Dear Admissions Director. The admissions director would be the attention line, and the salutation then would read Ladies and Gentlemen. So watch out for that on letter number 3 on page 44. We're keying it in a block format. Block format again means that you're going to not tab in any paragraphs. We're going to put in the current date, so you're going to want to use December 6th. Or if you keyed on Friday, you can use December 7th. You're going to have your inside address is going to be listed there. It does tell you to apply an appropriate salutation, which needs to read Ladies and Gentlemen, saving that over and over again so you don't get it wrong. Apply your appropriate complimentary close and reference initials. And the third letter is coming from Greg G. Elway. So, for today, you have your directions starting on page 43. It's exercise 3A. There are 3 different letters that you need to work on. You need to save each one separately following the directions, and you need to share each one separately to me as a Ken edit mode. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and ask Mrs. Thoreau. I will be back with you on Monday. Have a good time.